The week of January 19, 2026, brings several storylines to the surface, all centered on guilt, control, and consequences that can no longer be avoided. Audra Charles begins the week trying to reshape how others see her. On the surface, she appears to be taking the high road, making peace with Holden Novak and presenting herself as someone who wants to do better, especially after the fallout involving Claire Newman. However, Audra's sincerity is questionable. She wants credit for growth, but whether that growth is real or strategic remains unclear. Audra and Holden's meeting with Amy Lewis is emotionally charged. Their goal is to apologize for their involvement in Damian Kane's death. Even though they weren't the ones who caused it, they were close enough to the situation that their presence and silence mattered. Audra also admits her guilt over deceiving Nate Hastings, which is a significant step for someone who usually avoids accountability. The real issue isn't whether Audra feels bad, it's whether Amy can trust her again. Forgiveness would require Amy to believe Audra's remorse is genuine and not just another attempt to manage damage. That decision could determine whether Audra is allowed back into Amy's life or permanently shut out. Nick Newman's storyline grows increasingly dangerous as his health visibly declines. Everyone around him can see something is wrong, but Nick refuses to step aside. His insistence on handling Matt Clark himself isn't about capability, it's about control. Nick believes that if he lets go, everything will fall apart. As the week goes on, Victor Newman prepares to step in and deal with Matt, suggesting that Nick's grip on the situation is slipping. By the end of the week, Sharon Newman becomes deeply concerned, sensing that Nick is pushing himself past a breaking point. Nick's medical condition threatens not only his plans but his ability to make rational decisions, raising the risk that something will go terribly wrong. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott finds himself in a compromising position that could have serious consequences. Victor unexpectedly encounters Nikki Newman while she's with Jack, creating an awkward and potentially explosive moment. This isn't just about appearances, it touches old wounds, unresolved trust issues, and power dynamics between Victor, Nikki, and Jack. Even if nothing improper is happening, perception alone could be enough to fuel conflict, especially given Victor's tendency to assume the worst. Elsewhere, Chelsea Lawson works hard to prove herself to Nikki, signaling her desire for validation and stability within the Newman circle. At Newman Enterprises, Adam Newman continues supporting Victoria, reinforcing his role as her most reliable ally during the corporate war with Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers. Victoria's anger spills over when she confronts Billy Abbott, making it clear she sees him as part of the problem rather than a neutral party. Almost immediately after, Billy leaves Sally Spectra completely blindsided, suggesting he makes a major decision without considering the emotional fallout. This move reinforces Billy's pattern of acting first and dealing with consequences later. Phyllis and Kane clash as doubts creep into their partnership. Phyllis begins questioning Kane's strategy or endgame, while Victoria strikes back with a calculated move that signals she's not just reacting anymore, she's attacking. The power struggle at Newman Enterprises continues to escalate, with alliances shifting and tensions tightening on all sides. Finally, Mariah Copeland remains haunted by Ian Ward, showing that his psychological grip on her hasn't loosened. This lingering trauma connects directly to an upcoming major storyline involving Devon and Abby. While details are still being teased, it's clear that whatever is coming will push them into the spotlight and force them to confront something dark and emotionally heavy. The week sets the stage for multiple storylines to collide, with guilt, secrets, and unchecked ambition driving every major turn.